Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I am Peter, that is Tim, and we are working our way through Tales from the Crypt, the original HBO horror anthology show. We're on season 7, this is episode 3. It's called A Slight Case of Murder. So,
Ooh.
full spoilers for the episode, as always. So Tim, we have been on
Yeah.
a streak of shit for a long time, a long time.
hmm
This is an episode that revolves around a horror author who is writing murder mysteries and has a really annoying neighbour, has an ex-husband who thinks she's been cheating on him and shows up and tries to kill her, and the neighbour keeps kind of getting in the way. That is the premise of this episode. Did it break the streak of shit? That is the question that I pose to you, Timothy the Goat,
Uh,
Esquire Vargulish.
uh, I wish I could say it did, but unfortunately,
Not even close.
I no. I okay. If anything, I would say I probably liked it a little more than last week's episode. So I guess like that's something.
Sure,
But
yeah.
but that's like a very small like okay whatever. Um, the I don't know. I kept waiting for something a little more clever to happen. Because like you think, all right, you have like this murder mystery writer, her neighbor who's also trying to be a writer and is coming up with these murder mystery ideas and stuff that aren't very good. I don't know. It feels like it's a landscape for maybe some more clever stuff to happen, but really it's not. Like it's just yeah, a couple of people end up murdering each other, and surprise, surprise, the neighbor was behind the whole thing. But I don't know. Like I kind of saw that coming from like pretty much like the beginning, and it's not even like it's in super interesting ways. It's just like oh, she kind of just got everyone to shoot each other basically. Like
Do you know the thing is I can see the fun episode in here. And
oh
it
sure.
doesn't even have to be clever, right? There's a point
hmm
towards the end where, the husband thinks he's murdered the writer, but she gets back
hmm
up, and
hmm
she has him at gunpoint, but he throws like a garden shear at her, so she's impaled with a shear, and then she shoots him. And it occurred to me during this moment how ridiculous this was, and I said,
hmm
if it leaned more into this, if it was more farcical, like let's say it was
hmm
about him trying to kill her and she was trying to kill him back, and they just kept
hmm
injuring each other over and over again, I could have fun with that silly premise. But it,
yeah.
it never actually seems like it wants to actually have fun. It
No. And no, yeah, I agree with that. And I kept waiting for something like, I thought that it was gonna have something to do with the neighbor when she was trying to write that, like for some reason the stuff that she writes comes true. And
mm,
like I thought something like that would be interesting because then she can like, make up crazy scenarios that you wouldn't think would happen and then they happen, or maybe she, says something and then like erases it and then all of a sudden it's gone. Like something like that I thought would be a lot more fun and interesting. But no, not really. It's yeah, it just kind of boils down to a couple of people shoot each other. The garden share thing is kind of fun, but it's just it's a real quick little thing that
yeah,
other than that.
it doesn't save anything. And I don't like the neighbor's whole thing is she wants to be a writer too, right? And she is pitching ideas to the successful author, the main character.
Mhm.
And the only thing the main character that the author actually does that deserves comeuppance is she's a little bit mean with her
Oh yeah,
criticism. That is it.
yeah,
But at the end of the episode, the neighbor gets away with killing everyone, including her own son, and walks
Mhm.
off with her manuscript for her next book, and was like, "Oh yes, this is going to be my book now." And I'm like, "You're the one who deserves comeuppance. Why are you winning?
yeah.
Why are you winning at the end of the episode? You're the worst character."
Yeah, it doesn't follow like the normal Tales from the Crypt logic where yeah, you expect a horrible person to, get their just desserts, but yeah, like you said, she doesn't seem like a nice person, but definitely not a person that deserves to be murdered, especially like in like, a kind of crazy way. And like also I'm not like super like I think her plan is pretty bad. Like there's no way she doesn't get caught
Oh, it's come.
because like
Same with the husband though. The husband thing is he's going to kill his wife, take her
Mhm,
book, and get the profits because they're going to get a divorce basically, and
mhm,
he doesn't want a divorce. He thinks she's been cheating on him, and he knows that's going to lead to a divorce. So he wants to kill her so he gets all of her money because he knows that her lawyers will, the settlement will be, awful for
yeah.
him. So he wants to capitalize. And he keeps going. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you, and they'll never find the body. I'm going to drive the car away so your neighbor sees the car, driving off, and it'll be all
Yeah.
these things. I'll never be caught. They'll never find you." he digs up a grave in her own basement, and it's like a mound of dirt that's really obviously someone who's just
Yeah.
been buried. Like,
Yeah.
the police would be foolish. They'd be absolutely downright idiotic not to catch you. This is so
Yeah.
obvious.
It's so obvious, and then yeah, and stuff like she poisons her son, which I feel like that could easily come back to her, and then like she steals her manuscript at the end, which I feel like a lot of people would be able to, read it and be like, hey, this sounds like a lot like this other author we like, it's kind of a coincidence that this person we never heard of, never got anything published, lives next door to a girl that was like murdered, that writes very, good books. Like,
Also,
I don't
I
know.
have a question. Wouldn't she have an agent who knows what she's writing?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
This just feels, it feels, obviously first time writers wouldn't, but like she's a successful author who has, that's the kind of her character, that's her point.
Yeah, like she must have like, yeah, an agent that probably is aware of the stuff she's doing, or maybe even got like a couple of chapters ahead of time to check over or something. Like it's not very logical. I think maybe this might have passed like in the 90s for like a murder mystery episode or something, but I feel like
I,
in this day and age we have like a lot more like clever like programming that would not do something like this.
I even think you have to be clever to like overcome this one. You just have to
Mhm.
be basic. You just have to be,
Yeah.
default intelligence, and you will
Mhm.
outsmart this one. So here's another thing. I don't like the acting from the ex-husband. I thought he was really hammy.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling him at all. I don't understand why the neighbour's son, who's in love with the author, and that's all part of the neighbour's plan, is that she convinced her son to be in love with her,
Mhm.
and he's writing like postcards to her and stuff.
Mhm.
He for some reason acts like he's like a lovesick 12-year-old, even though he's like
Mhm.
45. I don't I don't
Yeah.
understand it. He runs around. He's kind of that comic like sidekick character who's really
Mhm.
really young for his age. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so he's a thing.
Like, also, why did that have to be part of the plot? Like, did she just not like her son? Because, you could have easily like manipulated the ex-husband and the writer into murdering each other. Like, the son really doesn't have to be involved.
Yeah, how did she have any idea what would happen once she got the three of them in the house? Like
Yeah.
it could have went any way, but of course,
Yeah.
Magic TV convoluted master villain plot. They knew
It
everything that was going to play out.
Yeah, that it makes it seem like she's supposed to be like this master manipulator, but really it doesn't seem like she did much. Like it seems like she got really, really lucky that all these people wanted to murder each other.
In fact, she even admits that, oh, things didn't go exactly how I planned it. But as you say, when it comes to murder, you never know what's going to happen until the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, whatever. Also, probably my biggest moment of stupidity in this episode is how she finally kills the author, because at this point the husband and the son are dead, and the author's like lying with impaled and shot and like dying on the floor, and she's kind of like trying to like crawl towards the gun that the husband's holding in his dead hands, and the neighbor just kind of puts a foot on his arm and sort of pivots his arm so the gun that's in his hand points at her, and somehow she just sort of steps on his arm a little bit and it makes the gun shoot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this makes no sense. She just controlled a dead man's hand with her foot.
Yeah. I kept waiting for something because she mentions like in the book she's written or something that like a person dies with their finger on the trigger, and then rigor mortis sets in and like the finger curls up and shoots the gun. And I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting idea. I was waiting for something like that to happen, but I mean, I don't know how long rigor mortis takes to set in, but it has to be a pretty long time, I would assume. Like,
Yeah, I don't buy this moment. This moment felt
Yeah.
silly. So,
definitely.
as cats are knocking things over
Yeah.
over Casa de Tim. Oh,
Yeah.
more things. Jeez. Or is it blinds?
I
That
don't
sounds
know.
like cats playing with blinds.
I think it's some garbage stacked up on each other, and now she's in a box. So
Okay, well, she's a happy cat then. Cats are
Yeah.
happiest in boxes.
Mhm.
That's true. No, this episode sucked. It's not
Yeah.
as bad as last week, just because it seems like there's more stuff going on. I did feel
Mhm.
like it took a long time to get going. Like the first 10 minutes is just the author kind of like hearing a couple of creepy noises and kicking
Mhm.
out the neighbor. Like that is the first whole 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, have you ever had a set of car keys that'll beep if you clap?
Oh no.
I have never-
I don't know
'cause-
what that was.
Because he's looking for her car keys, because he thinks she's dead when he's buried her in the basement, and he's looking around for her car keys, and he starts clapping, and I'm like, why is he clapping? What's he doing?
I, uh, To be fair, I feel like there was like weird clapping technology stuff in the 90s. Like
Oh,
I
I'm
feel like people
sure.
wa
Yeah, I'm
are
sure there was, but
like there was like a yeah, those clappers used to be a big thing with the lights and stuff, and I remember people used to make joke about that stuff all the time. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's another weird thing. Also, another episode, second episode in a row that we have that's weirdly British. Like, I wonder if I don't know, did they have like a British studio this season or something that we're gonna see a lot of
I don't know. It
stories
may
like
just be a
this?
coincidence because the first episode of the season wasn't, so it could just be a coincidence. It could be that they
Mm.
came over and made like 5 in a row, like
Yeah,
in the UK,
something
and
like that.
then went, okay, let's go back home or something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It could just be, oh, we wanted this lead actress. Oh, she's British, so we'll make the whole thing British, and we'll just make it
Sure.
kind of revolve around that. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's weird. But no. So we're still on the streak of shit. We're still on a streak of bad episodes. Didn't feel this one at all.
Yeah.
And the Crypt Keeper segments, for some reason, was about reading zodiac signs.
Oh yeah.
I, I have no idea why.
Yeah. Yeah. Them puns were okay, but
Yeah, you're not Sagittarius. You're Pisces, and then it picks up as like
yeah,
a hand that's cut off. And like,
that's fair.
it's alright. It's alright. It's like the Crypt Keeper sections are fine. They're no better or worse really than they ever have been. It's just
Yeah.
when the rest of the episode sucks, it's hard to be that amused when it comes back to him at the
Mm.
end, and it's like, oh, shut up, Crypt Keeper, your dumb jokes. Your show sucks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But hey, so that is episode 3 of season 7. We have 10 episodes
Mm.
left until we are done with this
Whew.
show. So we're working our way there. But that's it. So let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. If you want to support the channel and the show and everything we do here, head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, and you can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time. Keep watching Scary TV. Goodbye.